Hey guys, how's it going? Michael Troy here. Today we're looking at a classic Uncanny X-Men number 151. Kitty leaves the X-Men to go join the Massachusetts Academy. If Professor Xavier is a jerk, this predecessor to that could be called Professor Xavier is super mean. Anyway, can't wait to share it with you guys. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button and let's get right into it. So we have this great Cockrum Rubenstein cover, Kitty leaving the X-Men. We've had covers like this in the past, you know, of characters departing the team and leaving and whatnot. And I got this as a back issue because this was before my time of regularly collecting. But it's funny how it still sort of had the same impact. Like, it was always very triggering for me when Xavier was like trying to boot Kitty, and like I totally felt her pain. But what a great shot. I love how casual the X-Men look. Like Nightcrawler just sitting there with his tail wrapped around the rail on the porch. Like, that is so cool. I love the corner box art. Love the fact, okay, this is um, like the economy of a comics book cover. The top third of the page is taken by, you know, the title, and then you're going to sacrifice half of that with this sort of like Columbia promo, but advertising pays, so I guess that's why it's there. This is interesting because this is during Dave Cockrum's Return to the X-Men. However, he just did a double page or a double-sized issue with X-Men 150. This is 151. So we have a guest artist and Jim Sherman here. And I wish I were more familiar with this artist. I feel like his name is definitely familiar, and I do recall this issue. But I really love the art, and it is really fun, and I cannot wait to show it to you. Chris Claremont writer, Jim Sherman, Bob McLeod, and McLeod, and Joseph Rubenstein artists. So I'm guessing Bob and Joe are doing the finishes with Jim Sherman penciling, although potentially Bob McLeod is penciling some of it. Anyway, Thomas Orzechowski letterer, Bonnie Wilford colorist, never heard of her, Louise Jones editor, and Jim Shooter editor-in-chief. This is so interesting because Kitty's like 13 years old and she's like here and they hanging out with her bikini on, and you can almost see her nipples through the shirt. Like, that is kind of scandalous, right, guys? Anyway, I do love this art. I think the X-Men look good. I love the shading here. Like, this is a great, you know, I've said this before and I'll continue to say it, but like, kind of the joy of the X-Men was like when they're just like hanging out in the X-Mansion and just kind of fun. Well, it's interesting because I really do love this art and I think it has a great flow. And I'm just wondering, I mean, I feel like, why am I not familiar with this artist? Like, he seems like good enough to have done other things or gone on from other places. I always love this panel here, and I really like the way this artist draws Storm. I think it looks really pretty, and that's a great panel here. I think that is such, like, that shows some real artistic sort of technique. Like, that's a great spotting, like, great use of negative space here with the lighting. Very simplistic yet elegant, almost like Alex Toth. And I kind of like how Storm is breaking up the panel here. And I also like Kitty going through the wall, and you can sort of see through. Like, this is like really good storytelling. I have to hand it to this artist, Jim Sherman, here. Like, now that I'm looking, I haven't looked at this episode, this issue in so long, and looking at it again, it's sort of all coming back to me now. And I think that this is really well drawn. Like, this panel of Storm looks really good here. And you can definitely see the Rubenstein inks happening. I feel like that stippling kind of effect is definitely a hallmark of Rubenstein's kind of inking there. And so another great, you know, of course, Claremont, one of Claremont's huge strengths is on the X-Men and why we love them so much and why the stories and characters have resonated in our hearts and minds for so many years is the great relationships that he established between the characters. And one of the strongest being, of course, Kitty and Storm. They had such a great relationship. And I mean, Storm definitely filled her role as kind of a mentor, always giving Kitty like harsh realities, truths about life, and just really meaningful and loving advice, you know. So That was cool. And then here's Peter again. I mean, Peter is so lucky that, like, I don't know, you're 19, you're in the X-Men, you're in a mansion, there's nobody else around, and then there's this 14-year-old relentlessly coming on to you. Like, I don't know, you're from Russia. What's the age of consent in Russia? It can't be that high, is it? I mean, is that terrible to say? Probably. I don't know. But anyway, I feel like it was a little different for the times. It always seems a little creepy now, like, because Kitty's so young. But it's kind of natural, too. I mean, of course, this 14-year-old is going to, raging with hormones and newfound mutations, is going to be, like, totally in lust with this hot 19-year-old Russian colossus. I mean, like, who wouldn't be? So that's my little thing on that. Like, once again, like, I really love when, just seeing, like, different artists' takes on things. Like, this feels so, like, real. You know what I mean? This is, like, another hallmark of a great comic book artist, Like, they're just, like, sitting on this bench, sort of in the garden. There's a statue and bushes. Like, Storm drive. I loved when Storm drove. You know what I mean? Because it's, like, she flies, and, like, she's from, this goddess from Africa. So it's, like, when was she driving? Like, and then she just comes to the X-Men. She just was, like, always driving. I just thought it was funny. I mean, arguably, they could have taught her if she didn't know already. But, which, everyone becomes a mechanic and a Blackbird pilot and a martial artist after in a hand-to-hand combat. And so, there are perks to becoming an X-Man, for sure. Mundane in a lot of ways, but just, like, really killer fun storytelling at the same time. And this is, I feel, after Emma ambushes Storm and switches minds with her for one of the most epic storylines ever that I've always loved. Yeah, she was, like, switch bodies with her, and she's like, hell yes, I am Storm now. I'm gonna go. And I kind of, like, appreciated that sort of hedonistic consistency with Emma Frost. Like, when she sort of took over Iceman's body that one time and, like, totally opened up his powers and stuff like that. I feel like she just always goes for it. I mean, is she kind of an asshole? Yeah, of course. She's the Emma Frost White Queen. Oh, and the biggest offense, though, was smoking in Storm's body. That is so rude. Although, and then sleeping with Sebastian Shaw in Storm's body. That was even ruder. And then poor Storm, she's, like, in this, like, studio apartment or dorm room or whatever. And then she just wakes up and she's in frickin' Emma Frost's body. I mean, that's gotta be awful. I mean, it could be worse. I mean, Emma's not bad looking or anything. Totally rocking that White Queen outfit, right? Great, great, great art. Love this Jim Sherman so much. Great silhouettes here. That is so fun. Reminding me of Friday the 13th and Camp Crystal Lake. I would give anything for Jason to pop out of the bushes right now and chase Amanda and Nightcrawler through the woods. As he teleports away and Amanda gets hacked to bits. I don't know, that's crazy, right? Ooh, and here comes a Sentinel out of the blue. Like, wow. That is sort of like the, never a dull moment for real when you're with the X-Men. That's why you can just kind of hang out at the mansion anyway. Because sooner or later, a Sentinel's going to drop in. Someone impregnated by the Brood is going to crash through the window. I mean, something is going to happen. Fret not. Warlock Magus crashing to Earth, conveniently on the lawn of 1407 Graymalkin Lane in Westchester County. The most happening hub of mutant activity on the planet. Who knew? New York, lots of stuff. Buffalo wings. Anyway, loving this. This is fun. This is just classic X-Men. I mean, like, this upshot of the ceiling with the Sentinel reaching through. So great. This is why comics are good, kids. We love them. Fun storytelling there. Oh, and then here's the White Queen not really knowing how to use... I mean, I think that's also one of the beauties of Claremont's writing too. You know, he was always so good at having the mutants sort of practice and develop their powers. So it's like such a great story beat to have someone be in someone else's body and like not know how to handle their powers. I mean, I just think it's fun. Poor Storm. I like felt so bad for her. I mean, Claremont really put his characters through the ringer. He did. What a great thing and a lesson to be learned. To be streetwise, you gotta stop. Oh, should I do my thing voice? No, I won't. To be streetwise, you gotta stop bullying around. Besides, it ain't good for your image. You can be a good guy and tough at the same time. Stop that man. He's got my wallet. Which, I mean, she looks like she has a lot of money, so I'd steal her wallet for sure. She has like 49 cents, a coupon for cat food. Watch the Hostess cupcake stop that thief in his track. Oh my god, that's so hysterical. Wow, what a catch. This is the best loot I've scored all day. Here, guys, take care of these Hostess cupcakes while I teach this crook a lesson. Hey, Klepto. Looks like you've made the rounds today. Chocolatey devil's food cake, cream filling, yum, and fudgy icing, and I got my 49 cents and my coupon back. I'd say this has been a good lesson and a good taste. Wow, it's very interesting. I feel like that probably is the first time I've ever read that Hostess ad, or any Hostess ad. I mean, people love Hostess ads, but they're just Hostess ads. Really pretty face on Jean there. I love it. Kind of weird how this just ends on this like 9-panel grid, and like it's a lot of recap going on here. And Storm not knowing how to use her powers to stop Kitty in her tracks in the White Queen's body and almost kills her. And an ad for Rom Space Knight. I can't think of a better way to end than that. Very cool. Loving it. X-Men 151. One of my favorite issues. Very cool Lego ad, by the way. Burned in my brain forever. I kind of always wanted that. Probably just subliminally, right? Anyway. Uncanny X-Men number 151. Chris Claremont, Jim Sherman, Bob McLeod, Joseph Rubinstein, and other people. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel. Hit like. Share my content. I'll bring you more later.